Learning how to draw is a struggle within itself, but learning how to draw certain characters within your niche is a whole nother ballgame. Trust me, I know. So I'll be teaching you the most important tips I've learned over the years for how to draw a My Little Pony character. A bit of a sprinkle of a disclaimer. I am in no way a professional at drawing, nor do I have all the answers to art known to man. I am simply a 20-year-old who has a passion of art. But in order to make this video possible, I needed some help. Around a month ago on my YouTube community tab, I reached out to you guys asking, what is something you struggle with the most when trying to draw MLP? And your responses were really helpful. It's been a while since my beginner pony artist days, but when it was, my main struggle was anatomy / anything below the head. My beginner Pekka sister days, I used to struggle with anatomy so much. It's something I still struggle with. Manes. I suck at drawing hair like Pinkie's, but when I started, well, I actually like working bases because I didn't even know what a base really was, and I used to only use MS Paint, so things like gradients were almost impossible to do. Drawing the body, and lazy or lack of motivation to draw something. Drawing poses. I can draw pony, but not original. What? I also reached out to you guys on Twitter, or now it's called X. I think for me, it would be trying to draw their neck / chest areas consistently. I'm fine drawing them standing still, but once they reel back, slump forward, stand on their hind legs, their necks suddenly shorten / lengthen and become thinner and thicker. This mostly happens when I draw griffins. One moment I can draw fingers on claws and hold objects just fine, the next I can't, and end up drawing them like stripped hooves. Doing back legs from a 3/4 perspective. That and horns. But the problem stems from my style being super soft but with a lot of edges at the same time. Oh, and anything that involves contact with another character, like hugging, kissing, anything cute and cuddly. Definitely the body. Drawing their muzzles consistently and also drawing them from any front-facing angle. Their necks. And some characters' hair if it's a complex kind of shape. Well, my main problem is I don't know how to draw. I'm terrible at it. Aww. Point number 1, drawing the body. Let's take our volunteer, victim, and see just how exactly these majestical, vibrant horses are drawn. A lot of people start off with the circle method for the body, but this has never worked for me. I don't know, it just always ends up looking like a little wiener dog. And that's not what I'm trying to draw. Don't start on any specific detail, just look at the overall shape that the character is positioned in. And now, what if I told you you can get this basic drawing of this character in just 7 lines or less? This is done using the line of action, also known as an imaginary line you can draw along the character's pose, which is why using references are so important. Lines for the front and back legs, and the guidelines for the face. Now, I know this isn't a completely fleshed out drawing, but you just saved yourself hours of frustration by getting the basic sketch laid out in just a couple of lines. Once you have your line blob laid out in front of you, use your reference image to figure out what shape each part of the body are. Ooh, I just got asked if I want a beef burrito. Absolutely, yes please. Use your reference image to figure out what shapes each part of the body are. Circle for the head, cylinder for the legs, half circle for where the booty ends, and then you can go ahead and add in your slightly curved lines for the neck. Work on this for as long as you'd like, but don't get lost with trying to add specific details. We're not quite there yet. After you've made your basic shapes, keep using your reference to make sure your proportions are fairly accurate. Remember, we're not trying to get perfect here, just accurate. But Flutters, I don't know how to make sure my proportions are accurate. Don't worry, you can use your reference to measure the distance between certain body parts. Let's say the torso and where the front legs start. You can see that the front legs start about where the ear comes in on top. And no matter what art style you have, the proportions should always be the same. because that's just anatomy. You wouldn't draw a picture of a person with a dislocated shoulder and say, well, that's just my art style. Because no, your person has a dislocated shoulder and they need to go to a hospital. After you've checked your proportions, now is the time to start adding in the big ol' horse eyes and mouth. Now look! You have a completed pony! Oh wait, she's still bald. Point number 2, drawing the mane. In order to finish this drawing, we must do her some justice and add in her luscious locks of hair. So, okay, I've seen people draw pony hair in many different art styles in many different ways. Some are more tedious than others, but the easiest way to start drawing the hair is by only blocking in its shape. You've probably heard this a million times, so let me sprinkle in some specific ways you can go about doing this. And don't worry, I'll be drawing each of the main 6's hairstyles to help get an idea of how you can go about drawing these yourself. Since our volunteer, victim, is Pinkie Pie, her mane is very curly and all over the place. So I'm only going to add in the general outline of the hair as of now. And I would recommend sticking to the reference sheet and how her mane looks in the show to help familiarize yourself drawing Pinkie Pie or whoever you're drawing. If you stray away from her actual hairstyle from the show and want to make it look different, at least for me, you end up getting too focused on what it could be rather than what it already is. So you're better off using the perfectly convenient reference you have by your side. And ta-da! You have the outline of Pinkie Pie's hair. From here, you can start erasing the parts you don't like, and you can start adding in the smaller details inside the hair. This is basically the steps to drawing every hairstyle you can possibly imagine. But sometimes, even with our reference, it's still hard to know exactly where to start. Let's give Twilight a go. First, start off with the overall shape of the hair, then go ahead and add in the little cuts where her mane separates. I like to use little triangles for these, and then after I go in with my eraser. Since we've done Twilight, let's give Rarity a go. Look for the shapes inside her mane and where you can go about replicating this. Surprisingly enough, most of Rarity's hair is made out of these curved triangles. But most importantly, don't let the curls fool you. It's actually pretty simple once you can break down what shapes make up her hair. As for the rest of the main 6, you can see me doing here, just repeat the same steps used before. Draw the general outline, then add in those extra curves and spikes. I'd say out of all of these, I think Fluttershy has to be the easiest hairstyle to replicate. As for the hardest, what do you guys think? I think I'd pick between Twilight or Rarity. Point number 3, drawing MLP moving forward. Now that we've gone through step by step from drawing the body to the hairstyle, you have a completed drawing of your pony. Moving forward, I would recommend always keeping a reference image by your side. And if you're still really struggling with this, I would recommend tracing over your reference. I know tracing may come across as stealing or drawing something that you didn't draw, but it's important to remember that there's a huge difference between tracing to get better at drawing something and tracing to 100% claim that it's yours and telling others that it was drawn freehand. You see the difference? I actually made a video about this a while back on some ways you can go about tracing your drawings. It's a pretty short and self-explained video, so if you'd like to watch it, I'll have it linked on your screen and in the description below. All in all, everyone learns how to draw at different paces and nobody's going to be perfect on their first try. Also, what is there to lose? Worst case scenario, you get frustrated and decide not to draw. But there's also a chance that if you keep yourself grounded and continue to draw, you'll have so many more opportunities presented to you than if you decided to quit. Before I get too sidetracked with my motivational blabbers, I'm going to end this video. So thank you everybody for watching. If you'd like to see another My Little Pony drawing tutorial like this, maybe about expressions or dynamic poses, then let me know in the comments. I also want to apologize for the very inconsistent posting. I'm still trying to get better at managing my time and keeping on top of myself with videos. But hopefully I can get back on that YouTube grind and make some more content for you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!